snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys, so I am here today to do a book review, and the book that I'm going to be reviewing is the 7th book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. This is by Stephen Erikson and it's called Reaper's Gale. It's a big book. It's the biggest book I've ever read, and it took me quite a long time to get through this, understandably, because it's ridiculously long. Didn't like this as much as some of the other Malazan books I've been reading recently, I must say. I think this is tied for last place in terms of how much I enjoyed it. Dead House Gates I gave a 3.5 and this also got a 3.5, and I like them and I like bits of them, but equally they are so slow in places. I just did not like the slow bits and the bits that are drawn out. And this one does suffer a bit more from drawn out bits than some of the others. Unfortunately, the bits that I loved and that really moved me and captivated me were a bit too few and far between for my liking. So there are still some great moments in this though. It's definitely a very, very sad instalment in the series. It has some really devastating sacrifices and moments, and I loved seeing them, but we have a lot of build up to one big event. Right from the very first few pages we get hinted at that there's going to be a big battle between these two characters, and unfortunately that didn't happen until like right at the very end. 50 pages from the end, not very far from the end. Even though it's pretty epic, it's really short compared to what I thought it was going to be, and I kind of wish it a bit longer or at least happened sooner, so that I didn't feel quite as let down by it. Even though it's epic still, it didn't quite captivate me on the level that I was hoping for, because it's been hinted at for such a long time before we get to it. So those are my kind of small complaints. It was drawn out and that was a long time coming. But there are good points as well, and there are some fantastic, as always, some fantastic characters in this, because I love characters in Malazon. They are so funny and so entertaining. The thing that makes Malazan work for me is that it has so many moments of wit and humour and fun juxtaposed alongside these brutal, savaging, horrible moments and sadness and devastating sacrifice and betrayal, and it really is sad. It really is sad, this one. We get to see more of the magics and stuff, but we already have a solid foundation by this point, so at this point it's more kind of following what's going on politically. In this one we get to see the Lether, who we met in Midnight Tides, the 5th one, kind of meet the Malazan forces for the first time. And we know that the Malazons are brutal. We know that they've been conquering a lot of the land, and they've been led by Empress Laseen and her adjuncts. And we know that they are pretty brutal because they've already conquered a lot. And now they have come over to the Lether continent and they are trying to conquer the Lether as well. We get some other tribes involved, like the All as well. It's all very fascinating. There's a lot of drawn out moments of kind of campaigning, fighting and chatting about fighting. Didn't particularly care for them because I'm just not a big fan of it being too drawn out, and it was a bit too drawn out. We also get some very epic moments of shooting arrows and riding horses, and some crazy awesome moments of characters that are just shining knights in armour. I thought they were great. I'm going to talk about some of the characters so that I don't really spoil anything about the plot other than it's a big epic fight. The characters that I really enjoyed in this one include Teblor, who is he's a fantastic character. He's kind of like a bit of a crazy oaf. He sort of blunders around a lot of the time. There was a scene with chickens with him and Tehol, and I laughed my head off at that scene. It was fantastic. He was just so funny, and he's very simple-minded, bless, and he really is quite a cutie when you think about it. The things that he says are very straight to the point, and he's very blunt with what he says. He kind of interprets things as they're said rather than as they're intended, and I think he's a great character. He is responsible for some great scenes in the book, so I really love him as a character, and I just laugh every time he comes on. Then of course we do have Bugg and Tehol, both of whom are a great little duo. I always love to see them together because they really do make me laugh. They kind of boss each other around, even though one of them is the servant and one of them is the master. It's kind of an equal level playing field, and they are just funny characters. They manage to insult each other with wit and humour, and also show that they really do care about each other all the time, and they are just a fantastic friendship together. I love them. They again are really intelligent, really funny, and involved in some pretty deep, dark stuff that is going to rock the fate of the Lether. Then we have Hellian. Hellian is a fantastic character. She is a soldier or a captain, and she's a drunk. She's a complete wasted drunk the whole way through, and she is always off her face, always drunk, stupid, but she's also a very, very lucky person. She has the luck of the devil on her side, it seems, and she always seems to manage to control and command people even through her drunken bliss state, and she just makes me laugh with some of the scenes and moments that she has. I really enjoyed seeing her. She is a really funny character and she makes me laugh, and she brings some much needed lightheartedness to some very dark situations that the Malazons get into. Then we have Karsa, who is ever the badass. He has some pretty epic fight scenes in this, and I definitely enjoyed in the later parts of the book seeing him get into some crazy stuff. His development has been pretty interesting overall in all of the books. And then we have Tok, and Tok is a really likeable character. I really enjoy him. He is quite a noble character. He kind of fights for the right cause and he knows what he believes in and he does that, and I admire that greatly about him, and I think he's a very genuine character, and I think you see that in some of the sacrifices and moments that he has within this. And then finally we have Beak, and Beak is, oh, he is just like innocence incarnated. He is just so cute, so sweet, so lovely, so innocent, and such a tragic backstory. When we get to see Beak's backstory, I just wanted to cry. It made me really misty-eyed. He has such a sad past and he doesn't even realise it, which is the sad thing, because he's so innocent and so naive. I thought he was fabulous, and it really did get to me, that scene. So if you read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about, but yeah, he's a fabulous character. He does some great, great things for his friends, and he understands what loving and sacrificing is really about, and I really love that. On the whole, even though it wasn't my favourite of the Malazan books and it was just a likeable read as opposed to an amazing or awesome one, I still would recommend reading it if you've been liking the series. Obviously it does move the plot along and we get to see some new characters and some great character moments. It's a good book, it's a solid book, it's a very flipping chunky book. You could use it as a doorstop, it's so solid. I really did like it on the whole, and I think it's worth the 3.5 star rating that I gave it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you guys have read this, is it one of your most favourite of the Malazan books, or did you kind of feel a bit like me that it wasn't quite on the same level as the 4th and 5th, which have been my favourites? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little